Hello again, welcome in. Welcome to my channel, Musicalina. Today, let's talk about the Beatles. Okay, so the Beatles are a small underground indie band. I think they made some music in the 60s. If you don't know who the Beatles are, I really don't know what to tell you. I kind of feel like saying that would be similar to someone saying, I don't know what pizza is. Like, obviously pizza is life and the Beatles are life. And today I'm going to talk about my favorite albums by the Beatles. I have been thinking about this a lot as far as what my favorite album is, because it has changed over the years. I would say the first favorite of mine would have been Sgt. Pepper's. That was the first album in full by the Beatles that I listened to, that I had on heavy rotation. I still think that's a brilliant album. It's obviously very innovative. Then for a while it was Rubber Soul. I listened to that album a lot, like throughout high school and beyond. Rubber Soul came out in 1965, and this album has been described as warm and friendly and also kind of out there, as supposedly the band members were smoking a lot of plant life during the making of this album. However, I find some of these songs on Rubber Soul to have this ongoing theme of like anger towards women. I think the melodies are kind of upbeat, and yes, they sound warm and friendly, but if you look beyond that and you look to the lyrics, there's a lot of anger in some of the songs like What Goes On and Think for Yourself, and especially Run for Your Life. That song kind of scares me. Then for a while it was Abbey Road. For a long time it was Abbey Road. The song Something is one of my all-time favorite songs. I think it's one of the best love songs ever written. It was written by George Harrison, and Paul McCartney did once say that it was the best song that George had ever written. And I also really like the end of that album. It's like 8 little zygotes of songs. I guess nowadays, though, I just find them more cute and charming than I do, like, life-altering. I feel like the songs on that album, Abbey Road, are kind of surface level. A lot of them kind of lack the depth. I mean, a lot of them are just, like I said, they're so short. Like the end songs on that album are so short that they don't really allow for a lot of depth. Okay, so that brings me to my actual all-time favorite Beatles album. It's the White Album. It's intense, it's abstract, it's political, it is a sprawling piece of art. This album is a piece of art. Is it flawless? No, it is not. But I do believe that it is their finest. That is my opinion. And it does have my all-time favorite Beatles song, which is While My Guitar Gently Weeps. You know, Eric Clapton gave George Harrison, who wrote the song, by the way, gave George Harrison the guitar that he used to record the song. And George Harrison named the guitar Lucy. Helter Skelter is a beautiful, chaotic mess of a song. It's one of my favorites on the album. I remember listening to this album while reading the book, Helter Skelter. I don't know if you've ever read that book. It was written by the prosecutor in the Charles Manson case. His name is Vincent Bugliosi. And it's my favorite nonfiction book of all time. It's the scariest nonfiction book I've ever read. This book will scare the hell out of you. there is, in the beginning of the book, there is a page that actually says, this book will scare the hell out of you. And it will. I very highly recommend you read that book. It will blow your mind. Blow your mind. You will be reading it and you will be saying, there's no way this happened. But it did. Did you know that helter-skelter is a British term for a spiral slide on a playground? That's what it is. And that Charles Manson misinterpreted it as something to do with hell. For anyone who isn't familiar with that backstory, Charles Manson believed that the lyrics in the White Album were speaking to him and were encouraging him to start a war between races. He was obviously very, very wrong about that. It's really a shame that such a brilliant and innovative piece of work is forever associated with something so violent and horrid. If you have never heard the Beatles, is there anyone out there who's never heard the Beatles? But if you've never heard the Beatles for some reason, I would start with probably like a best of, like their #1's album or one of the greatest hits albums. Their catalog is pretty varied. They started out kind of like doing more teeny bopper music, stuff like I Want to Hold Your Hand and She Loves You, and then progressed to stuff like Sgt. Pepper's and the White Album, it's just a totally different. So yeah, I would, to get the best mix of everything, I would definitely go for like a greatest hits, and then maybe go full on into Sgt. Pepper's and into the White Album and into like the Abbey Road and Let It Be. So yeah, that's my little video on a little band called the Beatles. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.